there, Leo. It's Jen here. I decided to do, I did an overview reading for each sign back for this year, back in December. And I just decided to do a check in and see how the last half of the year might, might be going. So that's what this is. So when I did just a little bit of channeling, actually, you got quite a bit for Leo. Sagittarius, well, okay, Taurus came out strongly, and that's a Virgo. Um, oh, and I heard this song lyric. Kind of a mess how I handled it all. The bigger the lesson, the harder you fall. So I see some amends, whether it's you or someone coming to you making amends. I do see maybe that happening in the last half of this year. And then for some of you that this may be a relationship that the attraction was so strong, it was like a magnet. But it came with assumptions and expectations about each other, instead of finding out what the other person was thinking, their wants and needs. This isn't a reunion. This isn't a reunion, but closure. And I'm not really pro closure. I think that it just prolongs things, keeps that cord. But it just seems like this will be something that really is needed and will help you to sort of make sense of things and move on. This is so enlightening. It sets you up for a truly intimate relationship. The passion settles deep into intimacy. So this could have been, a relationship that happened a long, long time ago. And it's like that aha moment. You're just really seeing something and understanding something that will definitely help you in all relationships moving forward, but particularly romantic relationships. Okay, so we are doing Leo. Good Lord. It's weird. All of a sudden I smell toast, but I'm not cooking anything. Maybe that's a message. Who knows? So in the general, this card over here is just a general category. This is for work and this is for romance, but I will read them however the messages come. So the Hermit card in the general, this is introspection. It's going within. It's really processing things and figuring things out. It's moving from they were an asshole to I can see looking back now that whether or not their behavior was okay, and let's just say it wasn't, I myself was disrespectful to them. And is that ever justified? And how did I allow myself to get into that type of behavior, to get to lower myself kind of to those standards? It doesn't have to be that, but just that type of thinking where you're moving from blaming and resentment and fuming to really examining, processing, letting go of the negative feelings and keeping the wisdom and the perspective and things like that then you can apply moving forward, because that's where it's helpful. Having had gone through that experience becomes a valuable lesson and more tools in your toolbox to be more successful moving forward. Whereas if we stay in a place of they're an asshole, and they could have been an asshole. I'm not arguing whether they were an asshole or not. Now I've said asshole like 15 times. It's not productive to stay in that. And so that's what you're really moving beyond. And this could be anything. This could be your parents, your childhood, a work situation, whatever those things are that you still stew about, you find yourself stewing about. And I do that. And I'm like, good Lord, Jen, it's been 15 years since you worked at that job and you still find yourself stewing about that person. That is not productive. and also keeping that cord. So shifting those thoughts into more productive thoughts moving forward and figuring out really who you are and what you think is important. And I always like to think of the light that the hermit carries is they take all their experiences, everything they've learned, everything they know, and then they figure out what their what resonates with them and what type of person they want to be and how they're going to move forward um, at this point in time. Let's read what Doreen says here. Find or be a mentor. Take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. Yeah, so you could be somewhat introspective or staying home quite a bit. Maybe for some of you that are not in a relationship, you may say, I'm going to take a break from dating. Like, I need to work on myself or heal or have some time alone. And that's where I'm going to be. And I'm going to figure some things out for myself before I put myself back out there. Now, the Eight of Wands in the middle here is for the career category. Boy, when this card comes up, especially in career, for me, this is if you've put any, as my friend's mom would say, put your feelers out. If you've put your feelers out, you put resume, your CV or resume out there. Even maybe you're like, I've always wanted to move, fill in the blank. I'm just going to apply. And so you've knowingly put these things into motion, like you pulled back the bow and let the arrow go. And so you set that in motion, but all of a sudden, if it strikes its mark, it's like, all right, you've got this job. We need you here in 3 weeks or whatever. And all of a sudden we can sort of self-sabotage and be like, oh shit, is this really what I want? This can even happen with dates. Someone we've had a crush on, all of a sudden there's the opportunity to pursue it and see if there's something there. But do I really like them? Do I really think they're cute? All these, ego, fear-based thinking and stuff comes into play. So it's okay. You wanted this. You can say no, but this is just, and so then it just sets in motion. Okay, I got a new job. I have to give my notice. I have to wrap things up at my old job. I have to start orienting and learning things and dealing with HR and getting everything done for my new job. I may have to move. I may have to get new office equipment. Maybe it's going to be a home office. And you're like, I really need a comfortable, ergonomic quiet place to work. Just like it just sets all these different things into play. So it's a very positive card, but it can feel a little bit like there's a lot going on. Over here, this last card in the romance department, we have, what is it? I haven't even looked. King of Cups. Okay, so the King of Cups, this is sharing your feelings with someone. This can be in any kind of feeling, okay, whether it's love or frustration or whatever it is, being able to communicate that without letting it rule you. So if you're angry at someone, instead of screaming at them and uh, listing every fault you have about them, you can know to wait or the other person till you're calm, and you can have a productive, constructive conversation versus, one in the heat of the moment. Yeah, some of you may be going to counseling and learning to communicate better. The King of Cups can often be a counselor. And it's so interesting. I feel like there's going to be a much better understanding if you are with someone at this time into each other's perspective, because it seems as though we often assume everyone else thinks in their wants, needs, expectations. They think the same way we do about things. And it's just not the case, because everyone, even if you grew up in the same town, you grew up with with two parents or one parent or whatever, that your grandparents, I mean, that right there, everyone has a different family situations. Everyone's family could be very different in how they show love, how they or don't show love, if they have conditional love. I mean, we all bring such a very different, even if we're from the same culture, religion, race, back, like we still can be so completely different. Um, and so just being able to talk about things instead of, oh, they did that for the millionth time and they just don't care about me and they just don't. But maybe they're just oblivious to it, because maybe they think in a completely different way, and they think they're being helpful. You just don't know until you can really talk about it um, in a productive manner. Now, if you're looking for someone, this is a mature water sign. It doesn't have to be a water sign, but someone who presents as that. And they are able to, there's a level of maturity, of emotional intelligence in this person. And I think I just got the chills. I think that will really appeal to you, Leo. They've done the hermit work too. It's like you've both gone through it maybe, but you've both done the hermit. That sounded weird. You've both learned the lessons, and you've moved past, yeah, I just pick shitty guys or crazy girls or whatever we say, and to, well, why did I choose that person? Why did I act that way? Why did I stay that long? Why did I allow someone to treat me that way? Why did I treat someone else that way? And with that level of understanding, coming into a relationship, I would say that there's a strong possibility for success in this new relationship that may be coming in for some of you. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Leo, for the rest of 2021. Looks pretty wonderful to me. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.